What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. This is Queen Shay's YouTube channel. For those who do not know me, I am Queen Shay, and my channel discusses different topics such as spiritual, anything that educates you, anything that can motivate you. But this is more so of a spiritual channel, and I'm a believer of Jesus Christ, and I'm a reborn Christian. And there's definitely some things I'm still working on. Trust me, I'm not perfect, but my goal is to win souls over to Jesus Christ, because there's a lot going on, and I don't want anyone who's attached to me miss the rapture. But that's a whole different discussion. But anyway, folks, listen. So a lot of folks around here, talking about marriage, and no, I have not been married, and no, I'm not married. However, I do have a lot of wisdom, and when God gives you wisdom, you can definitely apply it to a lot of things in life. It's one thing to have earthly wisdom, and then it's another thing to have godly wisdom. So I'm just grateful to have, God's word planted in my heart, but it's a lot of, things going around about marriage and stuff like that, and, weaponizing marriage. I heard, Kirk Franklin, and Kirk Franklin has changed over the course of years. The Holy Spirit has left Kirk Franklin. And I remember, he's not a bad person, but Kirk Franklin has become of the world, and it's like, when you are a pastor, it does get rough out there. And, maybe sometimes you feel like you need to please people instead of God. But that's why you have to live to please God and not people, because no one on this earth has the authority to put you into heaven or hell. But guess who does? Jesus Christ. So we as human beings, while we still have the opportunity here on this earth, and while we still have time left, which is not much time either, but every day you wake up, you have time. So, listen, we have to use our time wisely, folks. We have to, definitely begin to get to know Christ, get saved, get healed, get delivered. I love to see that, and many people need that nowadays, because many people are so traumatized. But Jesus Christ is the healer of all things, because you know what? We are healed by his stripes. But there's so many people that have been hurt in relationships, marriages, because you have not sought God, or you heard God tell you that was the wrong person to marry, but you still walked down that aisle anyway. And marriage is a beautiful thing. There's so many people who speaks bad about marriage, but it's a beautiful thing. And I came from a marriage home. Both of my parents were married, although they're not together today. But I came from a marriage home, so that does give me insight, but God gives me the wisdom. So, when marriage is a beautiful thing. However, it's not easy. And you're going to have balance, and you're going to have to, continue to be spontaneous. You can never get comfortable in your marriage. You want to always date your spouse, because, keep things flowing, keep things spontaneous. Don't ever think that, oh, they don't need that, or, we've been together this X amount of years, or he already knows how I feel about him, or she already knows how I feel about her. My wife is, no. Continue to remind your spouse how beautiful they are, how good they look, how good they smell, how wonderful they are doing, how you appreciate them. Appreciation goes a long way, folks, because guess what? Appreciation breeds production. But that's not the point. You have so many people talking so bad about marriages, and it's discouraging folks who've never been married, or who've already had bad experiences. You're actually validating their feelings. But God says it's better to marry than to be in fornication. And that's one of the topics I didn't like, how he's talking about people weaponize marriage. I mean, if you're single, they don't respect you, but they respect more of a marriage. I heard what he said, but as a pastor, what he should be talking about, because there's so many folks in fornication nowadays. There's so many folks who are not married, and who are having sex, who are in sin. And that's what he should have been addressing, to get married first before having sex. Because, not saying that you should get married to have sex, but you should get married for more than the purpose of that. First of all, you should be seeking the Lord of who your ordained spouse is, because I always say two is better than one. Two is better than one. all the time. That's why there's a saying called the more the merrier, right? Like, I'm telling you, two is always better than one. Even people who are not walking in obedience with Christ knows this, and there's even songs that's been made about this, and you're powerful when you're together. You're powerful when you're together. And the devil will try to attack marriages. He will try to, you know, put those negative thoughts in your mind and make you think, oh, marriage is this and marriage is that, and everybody else getting divorced. You never know why people get divorced. So you cannot make that as an excuse to not get married. But what you can do is ask God and continue to pray for the person that's meant for you. God will reveal it to you. He will show you. Continue to ask God and be patient, because God is never late. He knows what you need. Maybe he's still working on the person. Maybe he knows that there's work that still needs to be done within yourself. So he knows that maybe you're not ready. Maybe that's why they haven't been sent yet. So continue to pray about it. Never give up, because God gives generously to those who ask, just like he gives you wisdom. If you ask him for wisdom, he will give it to you. But listen up, folks. Don't ever think marriage is a bad thing. When you know that's the right person, why waste your time? I don't believe in girlfriend and boyfriend. If you still a girlfriend or boyfriend, you're still single. If you're still fiance, you're still single. You're not married. Even with engagement, that means you're on your way to marriage. That doesn't mean it's official because somebody then proposed to you. It becomes official when you get down to that courthouse and you make it official. Even if you don't have a wedding. There's many couples who didn't have big weddings or didn't have large weddings, and they've been married 20, 30 years, 15 years, a lot of years, and they are still together until this day, So let's not get married for the wrong things, folks, because a lot of people are doing that as well. They get married to have the status, to have the ring, to just say I have a husband, or just to say I have a wife, or just because they feel pressured by their peers, and not knowing that you're getting yourself in a crazy situation and you're setting yourself up for emotional pain and trauma, because that may not be the person that God has for you. And then when you get married to that person is going to probably be so toxic, and you're going to find more and more things out that you never knew before. That's another thing. That's why I said I don't agree with the red pill community men, because the red pill community men are traumatized. They are hurt, and they make it feel like every not even every woman, but every black woman they've dated is a problem, or every black woman, is a problem because of your experience. Well, guess what? You chose that woman. That's number one. And number two, because men are naturally physical creatures, you're going to look at a woman's looks first before you actually look at her brain, before you check her character out. So that's not every woman's fault that you did not put weight on that character, that you did not get to know her more before you got in the bed with her. Because that's not everybody else's fault. That's your problem. That's your experience. That's why I say healing is so important. So much help out there. You need to get healing. You need to get help and not deflect your trauma or pain on anyone else. Because let's say the right person was to come along in your life, you would not be able to truly embrace it because of your past hurt. You have not gotten over it. You're still hurt. And that's the problem nowadays. That's why I do not condone the red pill community men. They are a bunch of traumatized grown boys. Seriously, and it's just like, you got to listen to yourself. Sometimes when people talk, they just talking. They don't listen to themselves. But when you actually stand in the mirror and hear yourself and listen to yourself, you're like, oh, wow. Like I always say, sometimes when you're in the picture, you're not able to see things. But when you're standing outside that picture, you're able to see more vividly, But it's so many hurt people. It's not even just men, but women. It's the men you picked. It's the men you chose. This man wasn't husband material. And men, you knew this woman wasn't wife material. But yet, you still chose her. And then, when you get hurt, you want to blame everybody else. That's not right. The storm that's going on inside yourself doesn't mean everybody else has to endure it. The storm that's going on inside yourself does not mean everybody else has to endure it. Get it right. Get it right with yourself first. Work on yourself, and maybe your ordained spouse will come. God has someone way better than your past. God has someone who you will need, and not just about the looks. You got to put weight on that character. That goes for the women too, men and women. But stop blaming people, categorizing people for your hurt. That's my point. Stop. Every black woman is the same. Every woman is the same. That's the woman you choose. That's the woman you picked. You picked her. That's your responsibility. So we got to take accountability, somewhere in the situation, right? We got to take accountability. You picked her, and women, you picked him, So, hey, you got to take responsibility. So, marriage is a beautiful thing. You're going to have your ups and downs. It's not going to always be peaches and cream, but that's what's going to actually build your marriage up. That's what's going to actually make it stronger, because you're going to go through those things, and you're going to also learn about each other more. It's going to help you to grow if each individual is willing to be open and to learn. Even if you're wrong, even if you're right, it's always a way you learn from the situation. So folks, it's a mindset too as well. It's the way you think. Don't let any negative thoughts get in your mind. Always communicate in your marriage. Don't tell all your friends. Don't tell no friends your business. Actually, keep whatever goes on inside your house. Let it stay inside your house. Don't let not a soul know but God. But God, take it to Jesus Christ. He's always available. He will never tell you secrets. I'm telling you. But folks, listen, I'm here to tell you, marriage is a beautiful thing. It really is. And I will thank God when that time comes. When my ordained spouse comes and I get married, because you don't cherish. You want to make sure God is in the center of that marriage, but also make sure that spouse is pushing you more towards Jesus Christ. And it's just a blessing. 2 is better than 1. Remember that, folks. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe to Queen Shay's YouTube channel. And don't forget to check out the link in my bio. I appreciate all of you. Thank you.